Alright, hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. So, hari ni saya nak present pasal topic 8 which is our industrial relation. So, what are you going to learn after this chapter is these few things. The first one is you will see the definition of industrial relation. Lepas tu, the role played by our ministry. And then the reason why workers join trade union, as well as what are the legal requirements untuk buat satu trade union. And then types of trade union, collective bargaining and collective agreement, DCCB, NCA. Lepas tu legal form of industrial action ni bila orang tak puas hati apa orang boleh buat. Dan finally is settlement of the industrial dispute, means kalau bila ada masalah macam mana nak settlekan masalah ni. Okay, now let's move on. The definition of industrial relation, dia kata industrial relation is the relationship between an employer and the trade union represents the workers. So dia adalah sebenarnya hubungan antara majikan dengan pekerja, tapi pekerja bukan seorang-seorang, pekerja ni adalah pekerja yang diwakili oleh the trade union, the persatuan sekerja tu. And an industrial relation system consists of three parties. Nama dia tripartite system. Tripartite system means ada three parties. The first one is the employer and dia punya association, employee and dia punya association, and the third one is the government. Ini three parties ni bila ada masalah, ada apa-apa dia nak discuss, then they will jumpa and they will discuss together or settle any dispute or anything lah. So nama sistem tiga orang ni is tripartite system. Okay, and then role of Ministry in Human of HRM in IR, industrial relation. The first one is dia prepare the legislation of establish the rights of employer and employee. Dia punya function is untuk establishkan clearly apa hak majikan, apa hak pekerja. And then dia punya enforce labour standards, encourage safe work practices at work, and also provision of training and workforce. Dia set rules, labour standards. Kalau untuk jawatan ni, what are the standards that we need? Untuk jawatan ni, what are the standards? And also safe work practice. Untuk ni, apa keperluan untuk working safely lah. Okay, and then actively involved in the settling trade dispute. I mentioned this already. Trade dispute is antara masalah antara majikan dan pekerja. And kerja ministry ni is untuk solve that trade dispute. Bila dia orang nak try solve, dua orang tak boleh, so they will solve it together. And then ensuring that the maintenance in a harmonious relationship between workers and employers. Function dia is to make sure that people are working in a harmonious way. In case kalau ada problem, then they can actually report to the ministry lah. Okay, then moving on to trade union. Okay, so first is definition of trade union. Trade union ni is dalam bahasa Melayunya is kesatuan sekerja. It's actually an association or combination of workmen or employers whose place of work is in West Malaysia, Sabah or Sarawak. If you see, it's the word is all, means dia tak boleh combine. Kalau duduk di West Malaysia, dekat Peninsula, dia kena trade union dalam Peninsula. Kalau Sabah, Sabah saja, and kalau di Sarawak, Sarawak saja. And this is actually combination of workmen, pekerja-pekerja yang combine sama-sama ramai-ramai and be in satu persatuan. And apa ni tujuan dia ada few lah. Why workers join trade union? The first one is to have a voice. Imagine kalau one person pergi minta something dengan bosses, and kalau compare to one whole group pergi minta something dengan bosses, obviously suara ramai tu will be heard compared to suara seorang lah. It's just like what I always say, ikan bilis compared to shark. So obviously ikan bilis will be just like ketis ke tepi. Okay, to gain bargaining power and fight for more wages, more benefits and less work. That's very human. Kita nak lebih gaji, lebih benefit and then less work. But then that's the function of the trade union, to fight for the right of the employee as well as to ask for more and more and more. And then to ensure that their employment rights are protected, to protect the employee, because there are a lot of cases that employees are being discriminated and harassed and so and so. Jadi bila ada trade union, they are protected. And to show their solidarity with other workers. Solidarity ni macam kesatuan dia lah, dia punya togetherness between we and other workers. So we join trade union because kita nak sama-sama feel the same thing. You want what and I want what are the same thing. That's why we stay in this trade union. And to have an opportunity to socialize with other workers. You need to know, students, sometimes when we work, not sometimes, most of the time when we work, if we do not have time to go and socialize with other people. Jadi bila ada gathering or meeting with the trade union, that's the only time where kita selalu jumpa dengan other people, and then only we can socialize with other people. Baru kenal macam, oh, they are seniors, they are juniors and so lah. Okay, moving on. This is to establish a trade union. Trade union ni bukan boleh macam, jom kita buat trade union, okay jom jalan. Tak boleh. So nak establish a trade union, the first one dia kata, all trade union must be registered with the Department of Trade Union before they can begin an activities. Before they fight, before they minta apa-apa, they kena register dulu. If tak register and you still work on your trade union, then you are an illegal trade union lah. Okay, any group of 7 or more people can form a trade union providing they work in the same trade, occupation or industry. So kalau nak buat trade union, at least kena ada 7 orang, 7 or more dah boleh buat trade union. And it must be from the same trade, from the same industry or from the same occupation. You tak boleh combine macam saya daripada education, saya nak join dengan health, tak boleh. Dia kena from the same trade. Okay, and then application to register must be made within 1 month of the first meeting held. And all unions are required to register with the DGTU. DGTU tu is Director General of Trade Union. Jadi hari ni kita discuss that kita nak buat trade union. So from today we have 1 month untuk registerkan trade union ni. And a temporary committee may be appointed to carry out the necessary paperwork. Since kita nak register, we need people to work on all the paperwork, so we can form a temporary committee. Just a committee untuk buat paperwork, bukan committee untuk pergi fight ke apa ke lah. Okay, this one is final exam favorite, so please pay attention. So types of trade union, there's 3 types of trade union. The first one is national unions of employee, then we have in-house unions of employee, and then we have the employers association. Okay, so the first one is the national unions of employee. Dia kata workers in different companies in the same industry, trade or occupation. For example, NUTP, NUBE, and etc. lah. Yang ni student, dia kata bekerja daripada from different companies tapi from the same industry. Maksudnya contoh banks, people from CIMB, from Maybank, from Bank Islam, Bank Rakyat or OCBC, whatever. These are from different companies but they are from the same industry. So this create one trade union, and this trade union ni akan bela semua nasib pekerja-pekerja bank regardless you daripada company apa. So itu salah satu contoh lah for National Union of Employees. Another one good example is for teachers. Sekolah lain-lain semua come from different place but they created one trade union, and all the teachers in Malaysia, Peninsular Malaysia for example, they sit in that trade union, they are in the trade union, and the trade union is huge and their voice is like really bagus lah because ramai dalam tu. And 2 contoh dia bagi kat sini, NUTP and UBE, dua-dua ni adalah contoh yang saya baru bagi tahu tadi. NUTP adalah National Union of Teachers Profession. Ini memang a very strong trade union because ramai kan cikgu. And number 2 is NUBE, National Union of Bank Employees. So memang bank employees ni dia very strong and they always fight, terutama yang Maybank punya. Okay, and then we have the second one, in-house unions of employees. In-house ni membership is confined to employees to that particular company. For example, Northport Union, KTM Union, DNB Union, macam tu. Jadi ini specifically untuk company tersebut sahaja, pekerja-pekerja from that company only. Orang daripada company lain tak boleh join. Air Asia Union or Mars Union, ini tak boleh cross lah walaupun from the same industry, but this is in-house, asing-asing. Okay, and then we have Employers Association. Employers Association ni is union untuk majikan, because student, you have to understand that pekerja ni ramai, lagi bila dia buat union dia jadi lagi ramai. So kalau majikan ni dia seorang, 2 kan, kalau dia tak buat union dia tak kuat, dia seorang-seorang nak fight tak mampu. Jadi Malaysia we allow employers to have union also, but they cannot have in-house union because dia 1-2 orang. Nak buat union at least kena 7. Jadinya what they can do is employers form their own union from different companies. Contoh MCBA, itu adalah for bank association. I can't remember apa sebenarnya tu, dia punya detail tu, but then these are all the bank managers or bank CEOs, owners of the bank. They create banker association for the employer. Jadinya to counter balik dengan NUBE ni yang sentiasa tak puas hati and keep on asking, jadi bila ada MCBA ni, so they fight against each other lah, which is actually good lah kan, because kadang-kadang pekerja ni pun boleh tahan lah. They fight over things yang Kadang kita rasa macam tak logik akal. Okay, so please don't forget 3 types of union. Okay, now moving on to collective bargaining. Collective bargaining, the word bargaining student means untuk tawar-menawar, minta. Bila kita dah ada union, then now we can start bargaining with our boss or majikan, or kita punya CEO or whatever lah. Okay, now let's look. Collective bargaining is a process whereby a trade union negotiates with an employer or association of employers over the terms and conditions of service of employees. And a trade union can only invite an employer to commence collective bargaining once it has been recognized by the employer as a legitimate representative of the employer's workers. So our trade union can only start collective bargaining bila dia dah di-approve untuk boleh bargain. Okay, bila dia dah jadi legal trade union. Okay, and this trade union is untuk where the trade union of employee and the majikan, or the trade union of majikan, whoever lah, boleh sit together and they discuss on terms and condition. Dia cerita dia macam the employee akan minta, majikan akan letak rendah kan. So they will discuss until they come to an equilibrium. Okay, dia akan datang ke point yang they agree upon lah. That's how bargaining is done. And when they come to an agreement, we move to the next one, which is called the collective agreement. So collective agreement ni, it's a written agreement. Bila kita dah discuss tadi, we come to a consensus. Kita sama-sama agree on something, then we do it on a written agreement between the trade union and an employer or association of employer concerning the terms and condition of employment of the employer's workers. Jadi kita dah agree, now we write it, and in that written document there must be a signature of the employer, and there must be a signature of the trade union of employee. Okay, and agreement ni kita guna pakai minimum for 3 years. Jadi memang collective bargaining ni tak boleh buat selalu-selalu. So when we want to go for collective bargaining, kita akan list betul-betul apa sebenarnya kita nak bargain, because after that, the next 3 years baru kita boleh bargain. Okay, and apa yang content of an agreement normally is the terms and condition of employment of the workers concerned, and also special provision of facilities for the trade union. Sometimes kita minta lah special facilities, kita nak parking, or kita nak ini, or kita nak recreational, something lah kita minta lah. So if agreed, then we put it in the agreement, and this agreement termaktub, again I repeat, for 3 years. Okay, now moving on. Bunyi dia cantik lah, as I said just now, discuss sampai equilibrium. Not all the time it happens like that, student. Sometimes discuss tak dapat equilibrium, tak kat sini, berhenti tak kat sini, orang ni tak mau turun, orang ni tak mau naik, jadi it won't come to an equilibrium. So when this happens, it leads to industrial action. Orang tak puas hati, we request for something and we are not getting, we work so hard and we are not getting. From the employer's perspective, I give you so much and you are not doing what I am asking you to do, and you are not trying to understand my situation. Jadi bila keadaan dia macam ni, student, it will lead to situation where industrial action lah. So industrial action ada 3. Please don't forget 3. Okay, now let's look. Industrial action refers collectively to any measure taken by employers or employees to settle a workplace dispute about working condition. And Malaysian law recognise 2 weapons, bunyi weapon, okay, could be used by workers, which are picket and strike, picket and strike, and when a trade dispute occurs. Jadi untuk employees ada 2 weapon, picket, strike. And for employers also have the right to lockout. Dia punya weapon satu, nama dia lockout. The workers when a trade dispute occurs. Okay, let's move on to picket. Picket can be conducted by one or more employees at or near place of work and where trade dispute involving such employees exist. Reasons for picketing: to obtain or communicate information, or to persuade or induce other employees to stop work. Student, picket ni is actually silent strike, mogok secara senyap, where kita tidak maklumkan kepada sesiapa pasal apa yang kita tengah lakukan. And the reason why kita piket ni is because kita nak maklumkan to our other employees what is happening. Contohlah saya HR and I get to know that company kita nak potong gaji, or kita nak ni lagi ke apa-apalah yang it is not good for the employees. Jadi saya tak puas hati, saya nak dapatkan all the other employees to support, and kita macam nak silently go against our employee, so we piket. Jadi saya HR, saya akan maklumkan to one employee, saya maklumkan to another employee, saya maklumkan. So it's actually to inform people that things are going to happen, so just like be prepared. And piket ni is legal as long as first the workers involved are members of a trade union. Kalau bukan trade union tak boleh piket. Number two, trade dispute between an employees and their employer exists. Mesti kena ada trade dispute and mesti kena ada problem. Tak boleh suka-suka lah macam aku menyampah lah bos aku and jom piket. Tak ada. Itu tak ada konsep dia. Number three, it's held at or near the employee's workplace. You boleh piket dekat tempat kerja, or you boleh piket dekat, contoh dekat site. Dekat situ yang kita tak puas hati, so kita boleh piket di situ. And it does not obstruct the entrance or exit of the workplace. You tak boleh halang-halang lalu lintas semua, pegang mogok-mogok. Itu bukan piket. Piket ni silently done. And it is peaceful and does not intimidate anyone. Intimidate ni tak mengganggu. So it is done very peacefully, tak mengganggu orang-orang siapa-siapa. It's just that you macam perlahankan you punya work, you do not want to work so hard anymore, and you openly tunjuk ke orang that you are unhappy lah. Cuma it's very silent, tak kacau-kacau, tak bising-bising, tak jerit-jerit pegang spanduk apa. It's not. So remember, the first one, first weapon for employee is picket. Number two is strike. Strike ni is mogok lah, yang macam apa tu, you see on in the TV or in the internet or whatsoever, and people stand in front and people mogok dan sebagainya. That's one kind of strike. Strike ni is selepas piket lah, bila kita piket and tak ada action by our bosses, so we have no other way but to strike. And strike, student, kalau you baca kat sini, this one, the first one is a very long definition. Jadi kita ada in simple word kat bawah ni, so you can read this one for you to understand what is strike. Dia kata in simple words, strike is any stopping of work by a group of workers, including any attempt to limit or slow down production on purpose. Strike ni you terang-terang tunjuk kat you punya boss, you memang malas nak kerja. You memang tak nak buat bersungguh-sungguh. Kalau contoh your work is untuk bungkus barang, and you boleh produce normally like let's say 25 unit, on during strike you just buat 5 unit saja. You memang malas-malas, you ambil break lama dan sebagainya. That is a strike. Or yang extreme strike, yang kita buat spanduk lah, mogok lah, berdiri depan pintu masuk ke apa ke, minta bos kita ambil tindakan apa yang kita minta tu, itu pun boleh. Cuma di Malaysia kita jarang-jarang ada that kind of strike lah, because our government tak encourage lah kita untuk do all those kind of strike, because it is not a good image for the country as well as for the organisation. Okay, so strike is legal as long as the first one, they are members of trade union juga. Number two, have a trade dispute between the employer, mesti kena ada masalah. Number three, a secret ballot is held prior to starting the strike. Secret ballot ni, student, is perbincangan secara rahsia. Means sebelum kita strike, kita ahli trade union tu dah duduk, dah discuss, kata kita sama-sama betul setuju lah kita nak strike. This perbincangan secara rahsia ni mesti kena ada minit, then only baru kita boleh strike. And 2/3 of the workers agree to strike. Daripada kita punya workforce ni, 2/3 setuju untuk strike, baru boleh strike. Kalau half-half tak boleh strike. Kalau 1/3, 1/4 cannot strike. You must at least 2/3 of the team tu, then baru boleh strike lah. And the ballot papers must be sent to the Department of Trade Union for verification. The workers must wait for at least 7 days before commencing the strike. Means hari ni kita buat perbincangan rahsia tu, secret ballot tu, that minute tu kita kena hantar ke Department of Trade Union. Tunggu dia kata on. Bila dia kata on, then baru kita boleh strike. But then student, we must wait 7 days. This 7 days, student, reason why government letak satu rule 7 hari daripada hari kita sakit hati tu, the reason why the 7 days is called as cooling period. Cooling period dengan harapan kita boleh cool down. Macam okay lah, tak payahlah strike, mari kita discuss elok-elok ke apa ke. Lebih baik daripada kita strike lah kan. Jadi dia letakkan 7 hari tu untuk kita tempoh bertenang. Kalau 7 hari tu tak bertenang juga, then silalah strike. Okay. Okay, and then moving on to lockout. Lockout ni is weapon kepada employer. So employer ni pun kadang-kadang tertekan. So they have also their counter attack lah. So almost similar to strike, only this time action is by the employer. IRA, Industrial Relation Act, defines as the first one, the closing of place of employment, tutup tempat kerja, satu. Number two, suspension of work, bagi pekerja-pekerja gantung kerja. Number three, the refusal by any employer to continue to employ any number of employee employed by him. Boleh pecat pekerja. Ini juga salah satu cara lockout lah. Okay. The purpose of lockout is to force employee to accept the terms and condition or as a tool to counter the industrial action taken by the trade union of the employee. Jadi dia macam counter attack, like I said just now. Dia a way untuk employer tunjuk dia punya dissatisfaction. I'm not happy with you, employee. Jadi I'm doing this untuk you all sedar diri. Kadang-kadang employer ada nice one. Yang jahat adalah employee because dia ramai. Jadi peluang lah untuk employer juga tunjuk that I am in power, you follow me or you then you don't have work. Okay, then procedure for lockout is almost similar to strike. You must be thinking, student, ada ke, perlu ke majikan buat macam ni? Perlu, student. There are a lot of cases yang mana pekerja dia kontrol majikan. Jom kita pakat-pakat tak datang kerja. Dan majikan jadi macam okay, habislah, tak boleh nak start business on the run business as well. Jadi dengan cara dia lockout tu, majikan pekerja akan takut lah kan, because macam datang kerja tutup, there's nothing, no news, nothing. Jadi this is a way untuk menyedarkan employee that who's the boss. Okay, now moving on, bila dah ada trade dispute, now we want to move to trade dispute settlement. Dan trade dispute settlement in Industrial Relation Act ada 3 cara, student, which is direct negotiation, conciliation and arbitration. So let's move on to direct negotiation. Direct negotiation, this is an ideal method for settling dispute where both parties come to the negotiation table to solve the dispute amicably. Amicably ni means secara aman. Maksudnya dua people or dua party yang problem ni, they come together and then they want to solve the problem secara tenang, secara aman. Tak ada masalah, cuba nak discuss macam matured way. This negotiation process is seen as a matured and harmonious way of settling dispute, and this method is highly encouraged in an Industrial Relation Act. And if both parties fail to settle this dispute, then the solution may be to go to the third party. Jadi kalau duduk dan discuss, tak boleh discuss. You discuss and discuss macam tadi itulah. You discuss and discuss, masih tak dapat come to that equilibrium point or consensus point, then you have no choice but you have to go to the second step, which is conciliation. Conciliation ni bahasa lain yang mudah faham is bila ada campur tangan orang ketiga. And in HR, campur tangan orang ketiga is normally people from the Industrial Relation Department lah. Okay, so process of arriving at the settlement of trade dispute with the help of a third neutral party. Dia mesti kena neutral, tak boleh ambil HR ke apa ke, because HR ni akan jadi tersepit kat tengah nak cakap from which side kan. Jadi it's normally the officers from the Department of Industrial Relation. Okay, conciliation ni dia ada 2 student you need to know. The first one, it can be voluntarily requested by either of the disputing parties, or the second one, the DGIR, the Director General of Industrial Relation, dia intervene, dia campur tangan sendiri because the dispute is related to public interest. And bila dia paksa campur tangan, this is called as compulsory conciliation. So dia dua keadaan. Saya dengan pekerja saya bermasalah, so we cannot go through this direct negotiation anymore, macam nak gaduh dah. So we call for help from the Industrial Relation, so diorang hantar officer. That is voluntary. Okay, but then kita duk discuss masalah kita ni akan effect ramai orang. So with that, nanti let's say the Director General of IR hantar dia punya officer. That is compulsory conciliation. So dua Okay. Compulsory conciliation is common in public utilities and other important industries where public might be inconvenienced if the settlement is not found quickly. Jadi ini bila ada, macam saya katalah, kacau-kacau orang lain jugalah. Kita punya problem is going to affect other people around us. Okay, and then this one conciliation is carried out by the Industrial Relation Officer who will meet the parties either separately or together. Okay, dia mungkin jumpa separate dulu, or dia nak jumpa sekali, duduk dua-dua bersemuka tiga muka lah. After a briefing on the problem, he will help them arrive at a compromise which is acceptable to both. Dia akan bantu untuk capai solving part lah. Kalau conciliation ni student, it doesn't solve the problem. Dia tidak tolong selesaikan. Dia cuma bagi these are the ways untuk you solve. You all pilih yang mana both of you parties ni rasa sesuai, then you choose. Okay, but student, sometimes dah ada conciliator ni pun masalah tak selesai. So if situation ni jadi, then there is no other way but to move to the third step, which is arbitration. Okay. Even if the intervention of the officer from the DIR, Department of Industrial Relation, the dispute cannot be settled, arbitration may be the only way to settle the dispute. Okay, this method, an impartial third party is given the authority to settle the dispute. Authority, dia diberi power untuk settle the dispute. And after they examine information and evidence from both parties lah. And in Malaysia, only industrial court has the power to arbitrate. Jadi dalam step number 3 ni, dia memang dah sampai ke court. Yang biasa you tengok see you in court apa tu. This is the point lah where they cannot settle anything anymore. So they move to industrial court for them to solve it lah. Okay. So as a summary, so industrial relation is a relationship between employer and his worker where those workers belong to a trade union. And when an employer and trade union are unable to agree to the contents of a collective agreement, their dispute will be conciliated by the Department of Industrial Relation. Jadi, for that, that's chapter 8. Jadi student, untuk chapter 8 ni you mesti remember few things lah. Satu, pasal tripartite system. Lepas tu you kena tahu pasal apakah steps untuk form trade union. Lepas tu you kena tahu juga pasal yang 3 types of trade union tu. And then apa collective bargaining, apa collective agreement. And bila tak capai, kata sepakat, bila ada tak puas hati, macam mana orang tunjukkan rasa tak puas hati tu? Through methods tadi tu, picket, strike and lockout. 2 untuk pekerja, 1 untuk majikan. And then macam mana nak solve the dispute? Ada 3 method juga. Direct negotiation, conciliation ada 2, voluntary and compulsory. And then we have arbitration lah, yang mana industry court akan solve the problem lah. Jadi masa tu memang tak boleh nak rayu-rayu lagi dah. Okay, so with that, I thank you. All the best, students.